and welcome to a new episode of Nerd Stuff. Nerd Stuff is a place where fellow nerds like you and I can gather together and geek out over the nerddom that is music production. Coming from a self-taught background, it is my goal to share any knowledge that I've gained with those of you who may find yourselves in the same boat as me. Homegrown creatives who are working on honing their skills as music producers, trying to gain confidence in running sessions, and ultimately releasing songs off of our hard drives into the world. You know what I'm gonna say.
No more graveyards on hard drives.
Don't make me say it again. Imagine you fall asleep one night and suddenly awaken realizing that you have been marooned on a desert island. We don't have the lore behind why you were marooned on this island, but now is the time to panic, dissociate, find some pirate rum, and maybe try and figure out some turtle transit situation. But you have no time to do that because suddenly a genie appears. This genie offers you one out of three options in order to make your desert island stay a bit less maroony. Those options are, number one, a month's worth of rations. Smart. Number two, a ham radio. Practical, but who knows how to use one of those. And number three, a 90% off coupon code for UAD's Ultimate 13 bundle. Tempting. The accessibility of music production, particularly in the amateur realm, is expanding so rapidly that as a consumer, it can be hard to keep up sometimes. How do I know that this product I want to invest my money in is going to be the right product for me? How can I be sure that I can stay relevant with the gear that I have when the market I find myself in is continually investing their interest in shareholder value over my personal benefit? Where do the self-taught people fit into this equation? These are all big brain questions that I don't necessarily have the answer to, but what I can offer is some advice from my own personal experience. Today, I wanted to share with you some of my desert island plugins that I am consistently grabbing on a daily basis when I'm working in my sessions. I've said it before, you don't need fancy gear in order to make music that you're really proud of. So the goal here is to share with you that my tried and true plugins may not be the fanciest, but they work for me in my workflow. And hopefully, if you are on the search for some workhorse plugins for your workflow, these could work into your workflow. Before we get into the details, I have a session open here where I'm going to be demoing some of the plugins just to show you some of the features that I really enjoy and how I like to use them on my songs. I also have my laptop down here with a few notes just so that I give you all the right information. So if you see me looking at a frame down here, that's why. All right, let's start with reverb. The top three reverbs that I'm using very consistently in my sessions these days are Valhalla VintageVerb, SoundToys SuperPlate, and UAD's Ocean Way Studios. So let's start with Valhalla VintageVerb. I would venture to guess that it's one of the most commonly used reverbs in music production today. And the reason being, it's so versatile and it's really inexpensive. From big to small sounds, this reverb can do it all. This reverb for me is like my bread and butter. Typically, I use the default setting and make adjustments and tweaks. I'm usually focusing my efforts on adjusting the mix, the decay, the pre-delay, the EQ, and the size. Here's a little preview from an unfinished song that I've been working on where you can hear Valhalla VintageVerb in action. And we'll make some tweaks so that you can really hear what this reverb does. All right, let's try Valhalla VintageVerb on the background vocals.
If it looks like me and it talks like me and it smells like me, then it must be.
Giant reverb. Let's try small reverb.
If it looks like me and it talks like me.
Now let's go through the different color modes.
If it looks like me and it talks like me and it smells. If it looks like me and it talks like me.
I think I like the modern setting the most for this. Let's try chaotic chamber. As we all know, I am a chaotic person.
If it looks like me and it talks like me.
Sounds great. The next reverb is SoundToys SuperPlate. You will see SoundToys come up a lot in this list because I am a simp for SoundToys. I just love them so much. According to SoundToys' website, SuperPlate is an electromechanical plate reverb modeler with 5 different plate styles. In addition to the plate styles, they also have 3 preamp options, which are the tube, solid state, and then sort of a bypass mode, which is the clean mode. I like to use this reverb the most on keys and drums. And when I'm using it on drums, particularly on the snare and hi-hat, because I really like the precise control that you get from the decay feature. Let's try it out in the session. Let's try SuperPlate on the perk channel. I have it just on the default setting here, so I'll play it without and then I'll turn it on. Now on. Okay, that's too much. Let's bring it down a little bit. You want to know something insane? I actually didn't know until I researched this plugin that you could do this tweak function. Just straight up didn't know that. So that's just our collective sign to do what we said last week and make a pact to learn the knobs.
Learn those knobs too.
The last reverb on my list is UAD Ocean Way Studios. Let me tell you, when I was researching this week, it was $39. Literally, like any holiday, just wait for it, and it'll probably go on sale. During the 1970s, engineer and producer Alan Sides partnered with Bill Putnam, who had begun United Recording in 1957, and they started Ocean Way Studios in Los Angeles. According to their website, Ocean Way Studios is the world's first dynamic room modeling plugin. And what makes it so cool is that it has 2 different modes. The first mode gives you the option to mix dry and wet. You can do different distances of mic placement in the studio room. And then the second mode is the re-mic feature, which I use a lot when I'm working with sampled instruments that feel like they need some more life given to them. The re-mic mode is fully wet, so it's kind of a set it and forget it thing. Let's try it out in the session. I've got Ocean Way Studios open on my drum channel. I've just got it on the default setting, so let's see what it sounds like and make some adjustments. Very cool room sound, but it's a little too roomy for me, so I'm gonna make some tweaks. Let's move on to a new section and talk about my favorite delays. The 3 delays that I like to use the most in my sessions are SoundToys EchoBoy, SoundToys Primal Tap, and UAD Galaxy Tape Echo. Starting with the SoundToys EchoBoy, this plugin emulates old Echo devices and hardware. I really like this plugin because it feels like right when you put it on, it gives you a vibe. I predominantly use this plugin on vocals, but I have also used it on drums before too. This is what it sounds like in this session. I have EchoBoy loaded up onto my lead vocal channel. Let's hear what it sounds like. This is my favorite setting.
Then it must be.
Now let's see what happens when we pair it with a reverb. Maybe the Valhalla VintageVerb? Let's dial that in first.
Then it must be. If it looks like me, and it talks like me, and it smells like me, then
Sometimes I will put reverb and delay into a bus, but honestly, I kind of like the way it sounds just putting it directly onto the tracks. Let's go back to the EchoBoy and see if we can dial this in even more.
if it looks like me, and it talks like me, and it smells like me, then it must be.
Oh, that's cool. When you bring
Then
up the
it
feel,
must be.
that drag is really awesome.
If it looks like me, and it talks like me, and it smells like me, then it must be.
So many possibilities, and this also has the tweak function. Again, didn't know that. It's fine. It's amazing what you'll find when you use your eyeballs. The next delay is the SoundToys Primal Tap. A little bit of background information about the PrimeTime hardware unit that Primal Tap is based on. The trademark feature of the PrimeTime was utilizing the rotary knob that controlled the length of your delay in order to provide a very cool lo-fi gritty sound. Something I've never tried before, but I saw on the SoundToys website while I was researching this, is that you can automate the multiply knob along with the VCO modulation so that your values and levels change as your song is playing, and that can really take your weirdness to the next level. I like to use this plugin a lot on ambient synths and ambient guitars because of that exact reason, that you can get super weird and wacky. Let's listen to it in the session. Primal Tap is open on my keys channel. Default setting, just going for vibes here. Let's see if we can find something stranger in the sound design. Alien transmission voice effect? I don't think we'll be using that one. Waffle fry, do I dare? It's just so wacky. It's so much fun. There's some more basic ones that we can find. Let's try the super lo-fi slap. Because I have all of my keys summed into one stem right now, it's a little harder to control. I would probably like to use this more on an individual track as opposed to a sum of keys, but this is such a cool plugin. It has so many possibilities for just when you're feeling like, this needs a little weirdness. This is the plugin for that. The last delay on my list is the UAD Galaxy Tape Echo. Tape delay, distortion, wow, flutter, spring reverb? This delay has everything. This plugin is an emulation of Roland's RE201 Space Echo. Admittedly, it does kind of give me that like ADHD feeling when I look at it, like I don't have the mental energy or fortitude to comprehend what's happening here. But that's why we have presets. The presets act like a secret sauce. Vocals, guitars, drums, you name it. Let's hear what it sounds like in the session. I've got the UAD Galaxy Tape Echo loaded up onto my lead vocal channel, so let's mess around and see what we can do.
If it looks like me and it talks like me and it smells like me, then it must be. Then it must be.
That is very cool.
If it looks like me and it talks like me and it smells like me, then it must be.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
Then it must be.
How cool does this sound?
If it looks like me and it talks like...
The cool thing about this plugin is that it's like reverb and delay in one. So it's got spring reverb and then just the delay is so sick. I think I'm gonna use this on the actual song. Not so okay computer vocal. Radiohead never steers you wrong. These are some of my other favorite plugins that don't necessarily all fit into one category, but I am reaching for these on a very consistent basis in my sessions. The plugins I have on my list are SoundToys Microshift, Aberrant DSP SketchCassette II, and XLN Audio's RC-20. Microshift is probably my favorite plugin. It's a stereo widener that can turn your mono signal into a fat, wide stereo sound. It's modeled after hardware pitch shifters like the Eventide H3000 and the AMS DMX 1580s. When I feel like something is missing on any of my tracks, this is the sauce that I put on it. Really like to use it on background vocals to make them spread across the mix. It's also fun to try on guitar, particularly acoustic guitar when you want to have that kind of doubled sound. I just can't get enough SoundToys. Okay, I've got Microshift lined up on my lead vocal.
If it looks like me and it talks like me and it smells like me, then it must be. If it looks like me and it talks like me.
Okay, let's go through some of these presets. I like this wide reflections one. I use this a lot for background vocals. Actually, let's put them on the background vocals and you can see what I mean.
If it looks like me and it talks like me and it smells like me, then it must be.
Let's go for big choir vocals. It's almost like when you convert a sample to a different sample rate, or you have an audio file that you adjust the tempo, like speed it up or slow it down. It has that kind of vibe, which I think is really cool. I'll show it to you on keys. Yeah, it just makes it feel fatter and wider. Good adjectives for music, not good adjectives for most anything else in your life. The next plugin on the list is Aberrant DSP SketchCassette II. According to their website, SketchCassette provides cassette tape-inspired degradation to your audio tracks. It really nails that lo-fi vibe, offering different age options for your tape emulation, as well as different types of tape, like cheap, value, standard, and even master level tape. I love to use this plugin, particularly on piano and guitars, and mess with the wow and the flutter to really give it that old school vintage tape vibe. And you can also control the amount of tape hiss and dropouts that happen, which really sells that vinyl vibe as well. Here's SketchCassette 2 on the keys channel. I'll go to a part of the song where there's more piano happening, so you can hear that flutter and wow. Here's some of that hiss. You can change the aged amount. Turn on the compressor too. Then it's a noise reduction compressor. Make it a little less bright. Go through the different modes here, or types I should say. Master sounds great. Can also do some dropouts. So easy to use. I know exactly what I'm looking for when I'm going in to use it, which is mostly to do that flutter, wow, aged, saturated vibe, which I didn't even try the saturation. Here's what it sounds like. B is more intense, I read on the website, as you can see. Yeah, this is such a cool plugin. I really like it. The last plugin on the list is XLN Audio's RC-20. This plugin is a creative effect plugin that emulates vintage recording equipment, such as vinyl and VHS, to add character, texture, and analog warmth to your tracks. To me, I kind of view the RC-20 as like a filter and modulation all-in-one plugin. I love this plugin for dialing in vintage tones, particularly on piano, guitar, Rhodes, and Wurlitzer. Okay, we got RC-20. I've got some organ in this section, so let's see what the RC-20 sounds like on the organ. Take down some of that noise. That's so cool. The bass is alive. Let's see what it sounds like on the bass. Oh yeah, that definitely adds a lot of character. This is such a useful, versatile plugin, and there are, as you can see, so many different settings that you can choose from. And with that, we have concluded my list of Desert Island plugins. I had mentioned in our last video together that I wanted to make a pact that we would all learn how to use the knobs on our plugins. And I personally feel like my knowledge has grown about some of my favorite plugins just by making this video. So if you have any plugins that you want to do a deep dive on, let me know and we'll check them out together. I've seen a lot of new faces around here in this community, so I just want to say a sincere thank you for watching. I love seeing all of your comments. I really appreciate all of the recommendations that I've gotten and just the general well wishes. Like, this is the nicest group of people. If you are new to the Nerd Stuff community, please consider becoming a subscriber, and then we can all be nerds together. And be sure to give this video a good old thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. Harry did it, you guys. Okay, bye.